Welcome to the tutorial on how to get into Magic the Gathering in 2021. Maybe you've gotten an interest in the hobby or have already been collecting during the past 2 years but have been unable to play in person due to world events. Now that this is becoming possible again, I thought I'd give a brief introduction on how to get into the game and what formats a new player could play and what products they can use to do so. First and foremost, there are 4 formats that I feel are beginner friendly. The first format is Constructed. In Constructed, you form a deck of at least 60 cards with no more than 4 copies of any one card from the last 8 or so sets. There is a specific list of cards that can be played in Standard, and there is a website called What's in Standard that can inform you of this. It is typically anywhere between 4 to 8 sets, depending where in a release cycle we are, usually forming the sets from the last 2 years. The next format is Draft. In Draft, you and 7 other players each get 3 booster packs. With these 3 booster packs, each player opens their first booster, makes a selection of 1 card, and then passes the booster to the right, and they receive a booster from the left. Each player then selects 1 from this, and so on, passing to the right until the first booster packs are depleted. They then open their second booster pack and do the same, and the same for the third process again. Once they have their card selection, each player builds a 40-card deck from what they have available. Basic lands can be brought in from outside the game and do not need to be picked from the packs. Anything that is not a non-basic land does need to be in your pack, including any dual lands or other forms of rarer land types. The third format a new player could get into is Sealed. In Sealed, each player gets 6 booster packs. They open all 6 of their booster packs, and from the cards within, each player attempts to form a minimum 40-card deck. Lands, again, can be brought in from outside the game as long as they are basic. The final game format is Commander. In Commander, you form a 100-card singleton deck. Singleton meaning you can only have a single copy of each card in your deck. From this, 1 card, a legendary creature, is selected, and this is your commander. Many players build entire decks based around a commander, or have a specific theme and then hunt down a commander that matches that theme for them. Your commander will go to a special zone called the Command Zone, where it can be summoned at any time. This is currently the most popular format for playing Magic the Gathering. It is also a more casual format, typically played with 4 players, involving a lot more discussion and talking about what your actions are going to be. It is generally not a hyper-competitive format at the low end. So, you've selected which format you wish to play. Now you'll need to learn how to play it. For Constructed, Sealed, and Draft, I would recommend Magic the Gathering Arena. It's free to download and has an in-depth tutorial that will take you through the ins and outs of starting out. For Commander, there isn't a set tutorial available on Magic the Gathering Arena, so you will have to either learn in person or with people at your local games store. There are plenty of online resources available to self-teach yourself so that you don't get completely destroyed in your first game. You've now selected your format and you've got a basic idea of how you're going to play. So what products would be best for you as a new player getting into the game? The first and most recommended one would be an Arena Starter Kit. These are released each year and are composed of 2 60-card decks. Perfect for getting into a constructed format at a beginner level. You and a friend can both take each of these 60-card decks and play against each other to get a few basic practice games in. These are not particularly competitive decks, and they will not stand up against other players who have been playing for a while, but they are a very simple way to teach yourself and another person how to get into the game and how the basic rules function. The Arena Starter Kit also comes with a code which can be redeemed by 2 people for both sets of decks available in the product. This allows you to play test your deck in Magic the Gathering Arena and then try it out in the physical. If you get stuck and have a question about specific interaction that you have in the paper game, you can then go back to Arena, attempt to play out the same thing, and see what the actual ruling is for that outcome. The next product is a Magic the Gathering Challenger deck. These products are released each year and are a much more competitive 60-card constructed deck, while also coming with a 15-card sideboard, which can be swapped in and out in between games. These contain a lot of rares and mythic cards, many of which are actually desirable cards. You can go down to your local game store on a Friday night and get a few games in with this and actually stand a good chance of winning. They are modelled off competitive decks that have been played in tournaments at the time of release. Over time, they become less effective as new sets come out and new strategies are developed. A Magic the Gathering challenging deck can be priced anywhere between £10 and £40. The price of the product depends on the contents of the product. Many of the cards within these decks are desirable for both competitive players and commander players. For instance, the deck in my hand contains a Fabled Passage, which was one of the most desirable lands in Standard at the time. As this is one of the 2020 Challenger decks, half the cards in this are about to rotate out in September and will no longer be Standard legal. A new set, 2021 Challenger decks, have now been released to replace them. The last option is a Magic the Gathering bundle, or Fat Pack. Each Magic the Gathering bundle contains 10 booster packs, 40 land cards, a spin down dice, and some box for storage. If you get one of these and 2 loose booster packs, you now have enough for 2 players to construct sealed decks. The one caveat with this product is that 40 lands, being 8 of each type, is not sufficient to actually construct a deck. If you've already acquired some land, this isn't a problem, but if this is your first product, you will not have enough lands to form a viable deck. In conclusion, my recommendation for most players would be to start out with the Magic the Gathering Arena Starter set. Getting 2 decks straight off the bat and the ability to test them out is great for a learning experience. Priced at only around £5, it's very cheap, and many players even just buy it for the contents to salvage the decks for other pieces. If you are a very competitive player and want to get right in the deep end, my second pick would be the Challenger decks. These allow you to get straight into the game, and if you know how to pilot your deck, you can even win a Friday Night Magic straight away using one of these. In fact, my first Friday Night Magic was with one of these Challenger decks, a Red Deck Wins aggro deck that managed to beat down the opponents and get me my first ever promo. For most players, I would not recommend a bundled box. These are more for a chance of gambling or 2 players looking to play sealed. As a general reminder to new players, it is usually more effective to buy single cards that you need rather than opening booster packs in the hope of getting them. However, if you do enjoy opening booster packs just for the chance of gambling, like I do, then it's perfectly fine and to do whatever you enjoy. It's just that in terms of cost, it's usually the least effective method of getting the card you want. Thanks for watching, and please let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see or more guides on specific topics. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a good day.